Hey, nice precinct.
Think so? That's peachy. That means more to me than you could know.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
Is Mosely here?
I'm here to see Detective Mosely.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Excellent. That's a mirror, not a window, dude.
Detective Mosely. Hard at work, I see.
Knight, I had a feeling you'd show up.
I've just realized that is a toupee. Let's have a look around.
Mosely's office looks a lot like his room at college. Art prints of the mall variety. A microwave. If Gabriel knows Mosely, it's used exclusively for frozen corn dogs. Mosely's office. Logs of unsolved cases, perhaps? Mosely must have 1 million of them. That's funny. That window is a mirror on the other side.
And yes, you just look through it before you open this door. I don't understand.
Nice polyester. Looks like something Mosely keeps around for formal occasions. The door leads out to the lobby. Art prints of the Mosely and intercom. How high-tech. Police department memos and other didactic blurbs. Mosely's desk has more groin on it than on his head.
He's got post-it notes on his monitor, like on the actual screen. That's awful.
Mosely's bookcase holds old magazines and binders. Mosely. The visitor's chair is hard and uncomfortable. It must be one of those sly police tactics to keep civilians unnerved. Either that or a cheap city budget.
No, it's the former. Definitely the former.
Mosely was one of those beefy guys in his youth. Now he's getting lumpy. The badge in his front coat pocket is set off particularly well by the gold polyester of his jacket.
Gold polyester, no thank you. Alright, so let's have a chat.
So, how's it hanging, bud?
Lousy. I hate crime scenes. People are sick fucks. You know that, Knight?
I'm starting to get that impression. You been feeling okay lately? You look like hell.
Me? I can't sleep at night, what with thinking about the case and thinking about Annie.
I can relate.
Who's Annie?
Played any b-ball lately?
Does it look like it? I'm so out of shape I'd probably have a coronary just looking at a ball.
I'm out of it too. We should play sometime. Get back into shape.
Man, I'd love to, Knight. I'll let you know if things ever settle down.
What is their prior relationship? School buddies? You mentioned college.
Mosely's office looks a lot like his room at college.
I'm guessing we studied together or stayed in the same dorm together, perhaps.
Anything else new?
Just work. Sorry I don't have more time to chat, bud.
Anything else?
Alright, you say we've got no time to chat, but I need to interrogate you.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
We're gonna insult him, really? That's gonna be either regrowth or a toupee, surely. The whole time leading up to this, it's expressed that he is bald, but he is clearly not bald.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
There's voodoo that goes on in this city, sure. I looked into it a bit at the beginning of this case. But the voodoo stuff found at the crime scenes is all faked. It doesn't have anything to do with the real stuff. I know, I asked some experts. It's intimidation tactics, that's all.
Firstly, you look nothing like Mark Hamill. Secondly, which expert did you ask? Because if it was the guy at the drugstore,
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I told you, don't worry about that part of it. It's all faked.
how can you be certain about this?
What can you...
I told you, don't...
I mean, you're a police officer. I do not trust you.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Lots. Can you be more specific?
We're gonna be here a while. Oh, God.
Do you know anything about the killers?
At least 20 people attend the killings. We know this from the variety of footprints found at the scenes.
Footprints? Aren't those as good as fingerprints?
Can be, but we'd have to have a suspect in custody first, and the suspect would have to match one of the few distinct prints we have. Most of the footprints are smudged, trodden over, unreadable. These guys are so casual in their expertise, it's maddening. Like they know we'll never find them.
Do the rest of the people at the police station know that this guy is just giving me confidential information like this? This is crazy.
How many murders have there been so far?
7 murders have so far been linked to the Voodoo Murders case. Now, the first murder occurred about 8 weeks ago. The MO was the same in each murder. Lake Pontchartrain was the 7th.
7 murders starting 8 weeks ago.
What kind of evidence have you found?
No fingerprints, a few bare footprints. Found a few fibers, but not many. The weirdest one was leopard fur.
Leopard fur?
Fake leopard fur or real leopard fur?
Describe the crime scenes.
Now there's the corpse itself, minus the heart.
Ugh.
Around where the body was killed, we find marks and flour and blood. There are traces of wax from candles, red and black. Ordinary wax candles, so the lab reports. Also blood and feathers of chickens. Also goat's blood. And plenty of the victim's own, of course.
That sounds a bit too sophisticated to be someone trying to cover it up randomly by pinning it as a voodoo murder. That makes any sense. Like they say, they're victims from the underworld and that we have nothing to worry about. But they're going the whole hog, and that worries me.
What's the coroner say?
The victim's heart is always ripped out of the chest and missing. We haven't located a single one of them.
Lovely. Any idea what they do with them?
Don't even want to know. Also, the coroner says some of the victims had heart attacks before the incision. Literally scared to death. The knife wounds are consistent with a long, narrow, wavy-edged knife. Probably a ritualistic dagger.
I don't suppose that's on the wall in the museum. Also, the coroner can tell that? Really? That they had a heart attack before they had it ripped out? I'm not a coroner, chat, so I don't know if that's a thing or not, but if it is, wow.
Any witnesses?
Nope. There's never been a single witness. No one's even heard a disturbance. It's damned weird. Like they just don't want people to see, and so nobody sees nothing.
Know anything about the victims?
The victims are all out-of-towners. We still don't know why.
You're not mentioning anything about them being members of the underworld. They're all out-of-towners, okay.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
Sure, no problem.
That does not line up with what the media is saying.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You and me grew up together. You tell me.
Here we go.
It's a pretty nice place, even seeing the stuff I see. You know, the quarter's getting a bit too wild, though. Getting hard to control. Not quite what it was when you and me used to hang here, but hell, I've never known anything else.
We knew each other before college and we're good buds. That's why he's giving me this information, even though it's probably highly illegal.
What can you tell me?
I'm too sentimental to say anything else about it.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
That's coming up, isn't it? We get some occasional weirdness in the quarter, but nothing much. Used to have a lot of strange things happen, though, or so I hear.
What can you...
I don't know much except what I already told you.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sans Coeur means?
Hell no. Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. Do you have...
Hell,
True.
Alright, tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
for the book?
Sure, why not?
Okay, what do you want to know?
Hey, yeah, why did you mention the maiden name being Humphrey? What was that about? It's not here, but maybe it's in one of the other options.
How'd you like working on the police force?
Are you kidding? You know I love being a cop. In New Orleans, it's the best place in the world to be one.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, you know, I don't like to count my chickens before they're hatched, but
Babies?
I don't see why I can't be the chief of police in New Orleans someday.
Oh,
I already know the mayor, and my record is one of the best in the department.
I'm sure it's just a matter of moments, mostly.
Yeah, you'll see.
Got any hobbies?
Yeah, making your life miserable.
I'm serious. Don't you shoot or chew or something like that?
No, I'm a freaking ballet dancer. Jeez. Yeah, I was #1 at the Louisiana State Fair Marksman Contest. I play trumpet, too. You know, put your lips together and blow.
How's your home life?
Oh, real funny, Knight. Why don't you just bring in some frickin' salt? Well, you know Annie left me.
ugh.
My home life is shit.
Right. Sorry about that.
Former partner / wife.
Just tell me anything at all.
Remember how we used to play monkey in the middle? We used to piss off our senior year teacher. What was her name? Ms. McKelly? You'd act like you were gonna toss her an eraser or something. Then you'd throw it to me over her head. And we used to do it at your grand's, too. Like with the remote when she wanted to watch her soaps.
Yep. And it was a great way to pick up women in the library. Oh, those were the days. Just tell me anything at all.
You know, my doctor told me I've got a little family of ulcers starting. I wish this case would end so I could get some rest for a change.
You're not going to become the chief of police by resting, dude.
Just
My back hurts.
Just
For the book, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was young. Or a fireman.
fascinating.
You're going to get neither.
Just
I'm 6'2".
you are not.
Oh, come on. I'm close enough. Just write me up that way.
Oh, God. Just,
You know, I kind of like women with dark hair.
yeah, I know. It's a regular thing with you.
Now that Grace.
You're on your own with that one, pal. I don't even want to know. Just tell me.
Remember how
Just,
You know, my doctor...
just,
My...
just,
For the...
fat. Just, you.
Yeah, we're just looping
Just-
now.
You know,
Yeah, you're on. Oh, nothing.
It's...
Tell me.
I did not mean to skip that.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
It's your dime.
Indeed. Case status.
What's the status on the Voodoo murders case?
It's going. Can't seem to make any progress, though. Sluggish damn case. It's weird.
How about getting me some coffee?
Coffee? You want coffee?
Should that surprise you?
Nah, you've always been a caffeine addict. It's just that what we got here hardly qualifies.
So, I'm desperate.
It's your stomach. I'll get you some when we're done talking.
That long?
All right, I'll go now.
What's the point of that? That gets him out of the office. So I can snoop, maybe?
Don't touch anything while I'm gone.
We're going to try and touch everything if I can, but I haven't seen anything to touch. That's the wrong icon. I haven't seen anything that I can play with in here, so I suspect I've done this too early, but let's try touching anything and everything.
Gabriel would not sit in Mosely's chair. That doesn't work. There is...
That was quick.
Here, drink it.
We have access to a microwave.
Thanks.
The coffee cup is empty.
Can I keep it?
The coffee...
I cannot.
That doesn't... Gabriel...
Okay, so we can get him out of the office temporarily, but I don't see why just yet.
Can I ask you about...
You're the right...
I got those photographs you left for me.
Really? Great. What'd you think?
Astonishingly lifelike.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Got any more ideas for photos for the book?
The fact that we get options here is concerning.
A cop author photo might be nice.
You and me? Together?
Why not? Of course, you'll have to try to tone down your masculinity.
Well, okay. I'll call the police photographer.
Okay. Wait.
Franks, come here a minute, would you? And bring your camera.
Okay, never mind, he's not leaving. The coffee cup has disappeared. We're going to get a photo. We did get a point for that, so... I'm guessing this is the right thing to do?
What did you need, Detective Mosely?
We need a picture, please. And make it a good one, huh, sweetheart?
Sure, sweetheart.
Correct response.
Say, chintzy.
Was there anything else, Knight?
I'm not asking that.
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight, make it fast.
Where are you going? We potentially use a photocopier. We could look through here.
It's a file cabinet. There's no reason to do that with the file cabinet. Gabriel wouldn't be allowed to access that file cabinet. There's nothing of interest in the inbox at the moment.
As to the moments, though, the photocopier. We could totally use that photocopier.
There's no reason to photocopy that.
We get a photo here. We kick him out of the room. We ask for a photo, and we come out here and photocopy something.
There's no
reason to photocopy any of this stuff.
There's no...
Would you just get in here?
Don't know why he looked in the mirror.
Hurry up, would you?
Okay, ready.
Thanks, hon. Let me know when you got it developed. The photos, that is.
Yeah, sure.
Jesus, Mosely. Okay. So I guess that is repeatable. He's probably going to get ticked off every time we do it, but we can kick him out of the room, we can grab something, then potentially get it photocopied, and then bring it back in and hand it over, and he won't realize we've stolen something. The problem is I don't know what's in here yet that we can steal. Maybe it's going to be something in here, maybe it's going to be something in the in tray out there. I'm not sure.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
But we can definitely clear out that area behind us and get access to the photocopier.
Do you know anything about the patterns around the bodies?
Yeah, weird, huh? All 7 victims had those little marks around them. We got all the marks on file, but we haven't figured out what, if anything, they mean.
Can I have a copy of that, please?
Can I see the other 6 patterns?
Sure. People like that kind of stuff, don't they? Might make the book seem more mysterious. Go talk to Officer Franks. Tell her I said you could see the file.
Here we go.
Have you ever called the hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
That's got to be a toupee, surely.
So how'd you ever find anything in this office? It looks like ground zero.
Hey, I get my job done. I'm a detective, not Betty Crocker.
Trying for a real estate job with that coat?
No. Are you trying out for a janitorial job with that hair?
Fair.
Are those new shoes? What are those, hush puppies? Kind of a mud brown suede kind of a thing?
Hey, I'm on my feet all day, all right? Is that okay with you?
Mostly. I'm being perfectly sincere.
Yeah, you and my grandmother. Right.
You know, you have a unique way of wearing clothes that's, well, the way they hang, kind of pleating over that stomach of yours, drooping off of your butt.
We can't all have the body of a 12-year-old like you, Knight.
You know, if you started carrying a lollipop around, you might get more respect as a detective.
Go to hell.
Have you ever called...
Short and sweet, go to hell.
So how'd you ever...
Hey,
Yeah, we're looping here. Okay, so I could potentially get the other 6 patterns by speaking to Franks. I'm guessing I can't keep them though, but I may be able to keep them with a little bit of subterfuge.
Excuse me, officer.
Yes?
I've got to do it.
So, what's it like being a policewoman?
The glamour never ceases.
Indeed.
Excuse me,
Yes?
can you get a file for me?
What file would that be?
The Voodoo Murders file? Detective Mosely said I could see it.
Really? Well, if he said so.
You're taking my word for it, really? Jeez. Right, so we know it's kept in there.
There it is. You can look at it all you want, but don't leave this area with it, okay? And no photocopies either, I'm afraid.
Of course, I understand completely.
Gabriel, you're a goddamn liar. Okay, let's have a look in here.
It's the official police file containing the partial patterns from the voodoo murders. The folder is marked with the warning, not to leave the police station.
Feels bad, but we have to do it. Evidence NOPD 0002864.
The police file contains partial patterns from the first 6 voodoo murders.
Yeah, it seems like we'll be able to draw a circle with these things. Alright, can I go through here?
Don't leave the room with that file, please.
Can I mark the file somehow?
Those 2 objects would have no effect on each other.
I was thinking maybe putting the tweezers in there sort of like as a bookmark, so that we could find it easily later.
Those 2... This is...
Can I mark it somehow?
Gabriel can see that just fine without magnification. Gabriel...
Can't leave the room. Okay, let's give it back. And let's try getting another photo and see if we can identify the file in there now.
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
Now that we know where it is. Actually, hang on.
That file stays in this room.
We can't take a photocopy, but can I take a sketch?
Those 2 objects would have no effect on each other.
That's a no. She's not putting it away though.
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
She doesn't put it away immediately, so maybe that's how we guess it.
Can I ask you about...
Photos, please.
I got those photographs you left for me.
so you said. Did you think of any other shots for the book?
You're a goddamn liar, Gabriel.
Let's take another cop off the shop.
What for?
I don't think we got your best side.
Really? Okay. I'll have Franks come in again.
They've got to think this is sus at some point, surely. So if Franks has not put the file back in the filing cabinet, we're good.
Franks, come back in here with that camera.
I was thinking we could just grab it out of the cabinet or mark it somehow, but if she leaves it in her in tray, then that solves all of our problems immediately.
Now what, sir?
That clown wants another picture. You don't mind, do you?
Of course not. What else could I possibly have to do?
Catching criminals, keeping the city safe, murdering civilians, that sort of thing.
Anything else, Knight?
I need to go fix my hair.
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight, make it fast.
You're letting me roam around unsupervised here, fellas.
Let me see that file again.
It's like the frigging Listen Police Department all over again.
Just want to check this machine here.
Ricky is too busy doing his stuff. Is all hell going to break loose if I try going in there with the file in my possession? I have to check.
Officer Frank would not be amused to see Gabriel carrying that file.
Alright, so we're not going to die here today. Let's put that back in there. Making some good progress. We have the 6 patterns.
The police.
And that's an exact photocopy.
Would you just get in here? Hurry up, would you?
Okay, ready.
Thanks, hon. Let me know when you...
Yeah.
That is a terrible line, Mosely. Holy shit. Having to clarify that you want the photos developed? I mean, come on, dude.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Ciao, baby.
Can we actually tell him that we took a copy of those things? I have to find out.
Mosely would only take that photocopy away.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Have a good one.
So we've known each other for ages, which is why he's helping us out. Okay. What's next?
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
I wish you wouldn't wear...
Who's saying that?
Got a minute?
What's up?
Could you do
Sure.
Hello? Check out Malia Gedde. What do we know about her? She's rich and she has a very expensive looking tomb at the cemetery.
Could you see what you can find out about a woman named Malia Gedde?
The name Gedde sounds familiar. What's your interest in her?
Oh, just, stuff about the voodoo murders.
No.
If you could get an address...
They're murders. Right. I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
She's onto him. I mean, they sort of looked at each other and love at first sight, that sort of thing, but no, she's involved, I think. There's no reason for her to be at that location, I think, because it's a very deserted road. She was driving looking for something. Don't know what.
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well... it's about closing time.
Oh shit.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Day 2 incoming.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay?
I'll try. She does care about us in her own special way. A lady tied at the stake. She transforms into a leopard. The medallion. The snake. The noose. Gabriel in the noose. That was almost identical to what we saw in the intro, but we didn't see the final shot of Gabriel waking up. Day 2. A mask I wore as I approached. I was what I am not. And though the pattern was unclear, its meaning could be bought. That doesn't rhyme. A mask I wore as I approached. I was what I am not. And though the pattern was unclear, its meaning could be bought. What the hell does that mean? Don't know. We had another dream, Grace.
Good morning. Don't you look swell today? Actually, swollen.
Oh,
So have some. There's a fresh pot on the table.
Thank you, Grace.
Seriously, you look like hell. Your hair is sticking straight up like a... Oh, it always does that. Never mind.
ha, ha.
Did you dream about the fire and the hang guy and that lion thing last night?
Oh,
Leopard, not lion. Did you get anything on Malia Gedde?
Well, I did get her address, but you're a little out of your league here, big fella. The Gettys own 3 local hospitals, just to name a few of their assets. They run in very high circles.
Did you get an address?
I got the address. I suppose this has nothing to do with the fact that Malia Gedde is incredibly gorgeous. I should have known you wouldn't go for a rich, ugly socialite.
And that address is...
Hey! Far be it from me to postpone your total humiliation. It's 557 West Ingram. That's the Garden District, Estate City.
That's all I wanted to know. And yes, my dear, Malia Gedde is the most dangerous-looking diversion I've ever seen. Ouch!
Oy, men.
Grace, I completely agree. Alright, we'll check that out first, but not after picking up today's paper. It's going to be the... I hope it's going to be the 19th of June.
Times Picayune, dated June 19, 1993. A front-page article describes the most recent of the voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns not anew. The article reiterates that the voodoo aspect of the crimes is fake. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere, there's an article about the history of Jackson Square, called La Plaza d'Armas. Under French rule, it was used for executions, firing squads, hanging, even impalement and breaking on the wheel. Yikes! Of course, these days it's mostly a hangout for tourists, street musicians and local artists. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instincts.
I feel a dark star rising, all right.
God damn it, Gabriel. Jackson Square was used for executions. Good stuff. But I suppose I can request more research? Nothing new there.
Could you...
Sure. Okay.
So we've actually told her about the nightmares in detail. The guy, the hanging guy, who may or may not be us. The fire, the lady in the fire, that she turns into a leopard, not a lion. We've told her about that, we've confided in her. I don't suppose anything's trolling me in here, anything's changed.
A little cold.
No. I've not forgotten we've got a phone in here. Would Grace be interested in seeing this photocopy?
Do you know anything about this?
No, sorry.
I imagine she's not going to know anything about this either.
Do you know...
No.
Those two objects would have no effect on each other.
This is important though. Surely we can combine those and put those together and draw a pattern. Maybe later.
See you later.
Uh-huh.
Right, so I believe we've got 2 places to visit. First is over here. Dr. John's going to be there, apparently. The second is the Gedde Estate, and Gabriel seemed very anxious to go there, so you know what? I think we'll start there today.
The Garden District is famous for its elaborate old plantation homes and mansions. This particular mansion is impeccably groomed. The huge trees bear beards of Spanish moss. The perfectly groomed hedges run along the front of the porch.
They look too low res to be perfectly groomed.
The potted roses mark the entrance to the house.
Can I take one?
Gabriel didn't come here to mess with the plants.
But if we picked one of the roses and presented it to her, that would increase our chances by about 1%. Damn, not much on this screen. Which is good.
Tall, narrow shutters provide beauty and protection. The windows are made of thick, heavy glass. The only thing Gabriel can see inside is even thicker drapery. The Garden District, the front door of the Gedde mansion, looks unusually solid and heavy. It's a brass door knocker. The doorknob is brass, polished to a high shine.
Alright, so let's knock on the door.
May I help you?
Is that a Monkey Island reference? I hope not.
I'd like to see Malia Gedde, please. I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you. I do have official business. Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
I'm a police officer.
Does this do anything for you? No, it does not, sir. Man, I've got important business with Miss Gedde. Yes, I'm waiting for some evidence of that, sir.
Presumably, I need to show him an item. I can't question him. Ah, damn it. Get back here.
May I help you? I've got important business with Miss Gedde. Yes, I'm waiting for some evidence of that, sir. Mind if I ask you a few questions? Yes, I do mind.
I'm gonna show you a dead body.
That's pretty disgusting. Does this do anything for you? No, it does not, sir.
I don't think we have anything else, apart from these patterns, perhaps.
Does this do... No.
About this one.
Does this... No.
What if we dress up as a...
There's no reason to wear that.
Does this... No.
Come on.
Just as I thought. Good day, sir.
There's no reason to wear that at the moment.
We can't disguise ourselves. Okay, so we need an item to get through this front door.
My hair looks perfect the way it is at the moment.
If you weren't interested in any of this voodoo stuff, I can't imagine that anything else, apart from the sketchbook perhaps, but I can't imagine that would work.
Man, yeah.
And I don't believe I've got anything else that will work either.
Gabriel isn't the artist his father was. He can sketch specific things, but it...
Just as I thought.
Damn it, narrator.
Gabriel...
It's on a timer.
Does this do anything for you? No, it does not, sir.
Oh. Okay, I'm not going to hang around here.
Just as I thought.
Let's go. So the other place that should be updated is the Historical Museum. I'm guessing something else has changed around these other places, but this is my first clue.
Welcome, my friend.
Hello?
I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
I definitely remember this guy.
Dr. John is a huge man. If his manner weren't so pleasant, he'd be intimidating.
He's not even behind the counter, he's in front of it.
Dr. John...
This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
So where'd you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Did you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kind of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
Alright, he seems decent enough.
You're a big guy, aren't you? Do you work out? Play sports?
I do not play basketball, if that is what you want to know.
Who, me? No. You just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it.
This guy is huge. His waist, his belt line comes up to around Gabriel's nipples.
So what do you think of our summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
It is unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased these days.
Nice outfit.
I prefer simple cotton to dead flesh, Mr. Knight.
I'll have to remember that.
That's an interesting way of wording it. That dagger. I've not forgotten about that dagger.
So, how is the museum business?
Those who truly seek understanding are few, Mr. Knight. But even one can be an audience.
Yep, sounds about like my shop. So, where'd you pick...
Oh,
Did you ever get...
I do not... I do... Is great.
No. So what do you think?
It...
Nah. I'll have... So...
Those... Oh,
Yeah, we're just looping. Alright, so let's have a chat. Dr. John?
Could I ask you some questions?
that is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Both.
What can you tell me about voodoo? What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
How do you know that?
What makes you think the voodoo murders aren't being done by local practitioners?
Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate, and for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
Firstly, I don't know. And secondly, I think it's now time to reveal that I'm actually a Navy SEAL, chat.
So you know nothing about the voodoo murders case?
I neither know nor care to know, Mr. Knight. My only possible interest is in how it might affect the public's attitude towards the museum. So far, it has not been an issue. No one has even had the bad taste to bring it up. Until you, that is.
Really? I'm the first person? I don't believe that for a second.
So you know nothing about the voodoo murders case?
I neither know so far.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
What is it about New Orleans that you so admire?
It has a real culture of its own, Mr. Knight, amid the horrid blandness that is Americana. New Orleans alone has a voice.
Spoken like a true New Orleanian. Do you have anything else to say about New Orleans?
I have already given you my opinion, Mr. Knight.
Jim, what can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I am afraid I do not know the origins of St. John's Eve. I only know that it was a night of ritual long before voodoo came to New Orleans.
That's sort of what Grandma said. That it was a religious night, a relatively peaceful night, but it's been claimed, perhaps? But Mosely said it was coming soon, so if you know a lot about voodoo, you should know when this is.
What else can you tell me about?
I am afraid I have little else to say about that subject.
And no one give me a date.
What else?
Alright, how's your French?
Do you have any idea what caprice encore means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
He was sort of hesitating when he said that. Is that good voice direction, or does that mean nothing?
You're sure you haven't heard the term caprice encore?
I am sure, Mr. Knight.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
How many options? Lots.
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Vague much?
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
Can't ask
My
that.
beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
That's a fairly insulting response, but you know what? I think it's about right, because he can't ask that question, I think.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
There's so much I could say right now, but for the sake of people who have not played this game, I will not.
Just tell me anything.
I do not care for small talk, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
I think it's unusual for anyone working in hospitality.
Just tell me anything.
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then, you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Yeah, but what you might say at one of those seminars or whatever you're doing is different from what you're telling me right now.
Just tell me anything.
I am a...
Actually,
Then, let us discuss something else.
Let's talk about historical voodoo.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
We could be here a
As
while.
you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Didn't understand that last line and also that voice change.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou Saint John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Just writing down Great Zombie. The Bayou, can we go there? We've been to the edge of the lake, so maybe we can go to the Bayou.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners.
Good.
An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
1830. And we get that as a subject now, even though we've seen her grave already. Alright, so I'm going to have to run around and ask everyone about Marie Laveau.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight. Look around the museum if you desire more information.
Tell me more.
I've
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Sounds like you don't think much of current voodoo.
Tell me more about current voodoo.
There are many voodooians in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great, thanks.
We have a new place.
Tell me more about current voodoo.
You have tapped my resources. My expertise is really historical. Perhaps Ms. Moonbeam can be of further help.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Is there anything else I should know about hoodoo?
Not if your interest is primarily in voodoo. Hoodoo is of interest to those who study rural folk traditions, but it will not aid you in understanding true voodoo.
I don't know if you're being sincere here or not, or whether you're trying to throw me off the scent.
Is there anything?
Not hoodoo.
Alright, let's ask about Marie, and then I think I'll cut this video because this is basically an hour already, I think.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Writing stuff down.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans. She was not above using her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However she achieved it.
Black and female. Hard mode, basically.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously. Very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey, you don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living.
That voice line at the end there. Yeah, she's just trying to make money, same as the rest of us, I guess.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
It was Marie Laveau who defined the voodoo that is truly and uniquely the voodoo of New Orleans. She invented hundreds, if not thousands of spells, potions, charms, and incantations. These form the basis of the modern practice, not to mention the folk tradition of hoodoo.
Tell me more about...
Her daughter, Marie Glapion, took over when the Widow Paris got old. Most people thought it was the same Marie Laveau. Both Maries encouraged that point of view. The Widow Paris died in 1881. Marie Glapion had been reigning a long time by then. After the death of the widow Paris, other voodoo queens surfaced, and by 1890, the cult was fragmented again. Marie Glapion just sort of faded away.
I was literally just about to ask about the younger one because we'd heard a lot about Widow Paris, but not the younger Marie Laveau.
Tell me more about...
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
We've been there, we've seen that grave, and we've seen it's defaced on the side with voodoo symbols.
Tell me more.
You have heard everything about Marie Laveau that a layman might expect to understand.
I think that's it for now.
Not.
Tell me.
I've given you as
Yep. Alright, so I might cut the video here because I know it's approaching an hour if it's not over already. But I'm not done here. I want to take a look around further and see if we can find anything. Next time we'll take a look around this place again, and I'll go back to my other contacts and ask them about Marie Laveau and see if they know anything. Back in a sec.